Welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting being held March 4th, 2024, One Government Center. We're in the City Council hearing room. Pursuant to the open meeting laws, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and deemed acknowledged and permissible. We'll start with roll call. To my left,
Jim Cusick.
Louis Ferrara.
John Brandt,
Paul Amaral.
Nikita Valencia.
James Hornsby.
and we have Patty Aguiar, head clerk, and planning and conservation agent Dan Aguiar, and Craig from FRG TV, and we are missing Chris Boyle. Okay. Can I have a motion to take out of order under new business items 1 and 2?
Motion so made?
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Sure, yes.
Okey dokey, guys.
Thank you very much.
So, just for the record, Paul Ferland, Administrator of Community Utilities, City of Fall River.
Ed Watley from Wright Pierce.
Could you be sure to talk into the microphone?
Oh,
I
yeah,
couldn't hear what you
sure.
said.
Ed Watley from Wright Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go slower next time.
I'm hard of hearing, so it's not your fault.
It'll probably be easier, Mr. Chairman, if I just get into what we're here for on this. So this is a request for a certificate of compliance, SC 24-757, which had to do with the construction of a new sewer pump station up on Wilson Road. We did receive the request for certificate of compliance and a copy of the as-built plans, which I reviewed and then subsequently requested that we get full-size copies of the plans. And then also you'll see in my report, I've requested that as-built topography, permitted approved limit of clearing and alteration area, and as-built limit of clearing and alteration area be added to those plans. It may be on the plans, but without having the full-size plans, I wasn't able to discern if the information was there or not. The work is complete, everything is stable, but we should have the updated plans and we can review that. So I would recommend that we table it until we get those revised as-built plans.
Okay. I didn't forget to read this in. This is a request for certificate of compliance, SC-24-757. Owner applicants, Fall River Department of Community Utilities, project locations 700 Wilson Road, census map is Z-04-001.
Yep, so I did receive the request from the Conservation Office last week. Did not get it going through my emails yet, but Mr. Aguiar did tell me about it today, so we will get revised plans. We do have this surveyor that did this work now working in the Stafford Square area, so we'll ask them to go over, get this stuff right away and get it back to the commission.
I think the actual surveyed information is probably in-house. I think it's just some plan preparation stuff.
Okay.
That's all.
So can I have a motion to table this?
Motion to table?
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Next is a request for determination of accessibility -186, owner applicant Paul Ferland, property location 10 Ferry Street. Assessor's map is N-14-002, filed by Wright Pierce Engineering, A Better Environment, on behalf of this applicant. The applicant is proposing a sewer pump station, mechanical and electrical equipment replacement, the replacement of distorted generator house with flood-hardened house anchored to a pile foundation installation by bypass sewer connection to enable the work to take place outside of Fall River 25-foot riverfront area. Erosion control projections will be installed to prevent sediment from escaping the work area.
Before we get started, Paul, you have the legal ad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Legal
I've got
ads.
all that stuff.
Yeah, and just to make note, it's not me personally that's applying for this, it's Paul Furley, the Administrator of Community Utilities for Community Utilities. Just want to be clear on that.
Paul, our company name did not change. So got the ad
Yep.
and then the proof.
Great, thank you.
So just for a brief overview of the project, so you understand, down on Ferry Street, right next to the entrance to Borden Light Marina, in front of Pier 52, we have a sewer pump station. The sewer pump station services the Borden Remington Mill Complex and those other buildings down in that area on Ferry Street, Almond Street, and a couple over on Water Street. So this is a low point. This does have a force main that goes up Ferry Street, and then eventually ties into our main interceptor drain over next to Broadway. The pump station is a very dated pump station. Our plan is to rehabilitate this pump station, make a flood-proof building to be able to house the generator and all of the electrical components, controls, and leave a submersible pumps within a wet well on the property.
So the foundation is gonna be on piles, there'll be drilled mini piles, so minimal excavation impact, but there will have to be some excavation to install a cap on the piles. That can all be contained. We do have 2 sets of erosion control. One of them is just within the little postage stamp that the city owns, and another one we're proposing on the back side of the walkway, which is it's in the 25-foot river front zone, but it would just be a compost silt sock, just a kind of a second line of defense for erosion controls.
All right, who owns that property?
That is owned by, I think, 10.
I just wanna make sure you have permission to, make sure you get a letter from them saying that you can install that there.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, I'm sure.
Prior to installation, yeah, we'll get a letter from the property owner. If not, we'll,
So the proposed activities are minor, utility work. The only thing that I would recommend is that we get a set of revised plans. You can still approve it, but conditional upon receiving revised plans that indicate all of the resource areas and the buffer zones, just label them on the plan, and then also show the property boundaries. I think you reference it in your notes, but there are no property boundaries shown on the plan. think you
Yeah,
have an-
actually, it's,
Well, you have an erosion control line shown, right?
yeah, and then the 10 Ferry owns right to the water. And so basically, you've got a property line here, and then the city's,
Right, so your property lines for the
yeah.
city aren't shown.
yeah, they're on here.
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean, it's literally, it's about a 50 by 50 foot. if
No, I
that.
know, but on the plan, the little dash line that you have there, isn't that just labeled erosion control barrier?
Well, so we've got the erosion control on the outside, and then on the inside here, this is what the city owns.
Okay, so even, again, so you're going beyond, even on that one, you're going beyond what
Yeah.
TEN owns.
Yeah,
Is any work being done beyond the footprint that the city owns?
no. You know what, there is
Because
a
they would have to
little
be-
bit of landscaping, and we're gonna have to, Paul and I are gonna have to go in front of the landowner.
Yeah.
Well, they
and
should have been an
get the-
applicant of this if they're doing any work on their property. Correct? I mean, we can't permit work to be completed on their property if you don't have the rights to do it, or if they're not an applicant to it.
I mean, landscaping is yours.
Well, is it landscaping? Is there any pipe that's crossed? Is there an access?
No.
No, there's.
No, it's just removal of the shrubs to be able to do the work.
So we'll call it the double intermittent dashed line, as that's the property line? On the interior square?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be dimensioned with bearings and distances. Then we see a crushed stone construction equipment erosion prevention strip. That's being constructed, that's not on your property, correct? To the water
Yeah,
side.
Yep, that's correct.
Right.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I have a problem approving work on an abutting property that I was looking at the outside line as being the property, that's why I asked for the property line to be shown, but I didn't know it was this bad onto abutting properties. Do we have easements to do that work?
There are temporary construction easements from the original construction of the,
How long are those
Position.
temporary construction easements in place
there
for?
was no date,
So they're still good?
I would say they are.
Okay, can we show those? That may
Yep.
cover you, if in fact that easement's in place.
Okay.
And then just label, like on this plan, we're showing a 50-foot buffer and a 100-foot buffer. I think you're showing it to the high water mark. I'm assuming top of bank is up where the post and rail fence is, so I think the bank is the resource area. The narrative lists it as the different resource areas, but the plan doesn't show any of them, including the flood zone, I don't think.
We do have flood zone labeled. It's under the FEMA flood elevation notes on C2.
Right, but, so there's not a floodplain line anywhere on here that would show up?
The whole
It
thing
encompasses,
is-
right, but how far? far
It's, it's quite a ways away.
So, yeah, so
Yeah,
the
we're-
scope of this plan.
We're well within, the entire plan is within.
Because the request didn't actually spell out what resource areas you were doing work within, or what buffer zones you were doing work within. So it's kind of difficult to make determinations upon resource areas when they're not requested to be determined or provided. I don't know, whatever the commission's thoughts are, but I would not approve work on an abutting property unless you're sure of the legal ability to do so.
Regardless if there's an easement there or not, we still need property.
Well, there might be an easement on it, but we don't have that information.
What I'm saying,
Can we
regardless
put-
of that, we probably still need the property owner's permission to,
Would think, I think, they should at least be notified, or
Right.
they should be an applicant to it. We're dealing with the same thing with the Quikasham Rail Trail. And we're having trouble having a bunch of the mill owners, we're required to have them sign the notice of intent submission, even though we have an easement to
Right.
do the work.
Do you wanna put that in the conditions, or just
I don't know.
wait another month?
I mean, you could vote however you want.
How's the board?
I myself think we should, at
Table?
least table this and
Okay.
make the owner aware of the situation and
Okay,
include him in this.
sounds good.
And can you get a letter from the
Or-
owner that he understands the work's gonna be done, or?
Or verify easement,
Yeah, we'll talk to the owner and see about it.
Okay, so can I have a motion to table,
Motion to table.
seconded.
roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
If you wanna give me a call, we can go over where I think needs to be.
Resource areas.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thanks for moving me up too.
Mr. Chairman, since we are in new business, do you want to take 3 out of order as well and finish that up? Or do you want to go back to old business? I don't know if the
I think
person.
we have people waiting, so I'd go back to,
Old business.
You wanna go
go back to the beginning.
Okay. Next is a request for certificate of compliance, SE-24-761, owner applicant's Department of Conservation Recreation. Project location, Copacut Road, assessors map is W-19-0010, filed by the Department of Conservation Recreation requesting a certificate of compliance, stating the work was regulated above, the order condition has been satisfactorily completed. This was tabled from February 5th. You can see that Chris Boyle had a meeting with them at the Heritage State Park, and they went over, we have a map over there that Chris did up with a, I think 5 points are that they have to correct. Dan, did you wanna, should I read that
Yeah.
into the minutes, or?
So what I did was, again, Chris Boyle met with their representatives on February 22nd, finally. He discussed their concerns with them, and he had enumerated in an email to me what you see in this report here. He is requesting, or that it is his opinion, that we do not issue a COC until all of these items have been completed. So I think we now at least have a narrow target of what they need to do in order to receive that certificate of compliance. So I would concur with Chris's assertion that we should hold off on the COC until these items. A lot of them are signage being placed and
Yeah,
closing off old trails, you know, there's really some cleaning up work. But since Chris is the one that's been most heavily involved in this, even through the permitting of it,
yeah,
if Chris isn't okay with it, then I can't say that I would be either, so.
yeah, yeah.
But that's
I-
up to you all.
I know he said he had it was a 2-hour meeting, and it was, it's a new group, so they weren't in on this process. So they think it's satisfactory completed, but it's in our order of conditions, so they're a little reluctant on moving forward, but it looks like it.
But at least now that we have the target,
Yeah,
we can send them an email that we're not issuing the certificate. We're
Yeah.
not gonna leave it on the agenda.
Yep.
We're not gonna leave it on the agenda until they've resolved these items,
mhm,
you know,
Yep.
and submit as a narrative stating that they did all these. Chris and I can confirm that they did it, and then you can decide to put it back on an agenda and vote on it then.
okay, sounds good. So a motion table, or any questions, board?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Wait, are we tabling this, or are we removing this from the
I
agenda?
mean, you can, if you wanna just keep it on the agenda, that's fine, but
No, I mean,
it could be 3 years before they do this work.
if I may
Okay.
make a suggestion, I think we should go ahead and remove
Motion to
this,
file? Okay,
to remove it from the agenda, and then
okay, we can do that.
And have them refile. I'll
All
write
right.
that in the letter.
I think that's what,
So may I have a motion to remove from the agenda?
motion so made.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Yes,
Aye.
All righty,
that way we can clean up some of the agenda items.
yeah.
Did
Next
we
is,
move to, did we vote on the tabling?
no, we're not gonna table it, we're just gonna take it off because they're not close to being ready.
We're gonna you voted to take it off. I'm gonna send them a letter saying to reapply when they've done all of these items.
Oh, that's what you meant by reapply.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's gonna sit at the top of this agenda and people have to read it and listen to it.
yeah.
Nobody's here to come in and speak
Yeah.
on their behalf for a year. I don't know, how many months has this been in front of us?
Oh, yeah.
Been quite a while.
Right, I mean, that's part of my own frustration here.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And,
There's no filing fee for them to resubmit.
okay.
All they need to do is basically submit a letter saying we've complied with these, whatever, 10 outstanding items that
Right,
will refer to the letter.
These are related to the use of these are all related to the use of the path and trying to keep the motorized vehicles on the path and out of the rest of the,
Yeah,
rest of the place, which
Right.
is,
well, and out of a bunch of the old paths that were supposed to be naturalized, which wouldn't, I guess.
well, that's
didn't
just
take
my
place.
frustration to walk there and see a motorcycle track in an area that is not permitted. That's, okay, let's go to the next one.
All righty,
I've expressed my frustration, thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
let's go.
all right.
Just-
Notice of intent, there's SE-24-831, owner applicants Jeff Sylvia, project location 2450 Indian Town Road. Assessors map is W-34-0012, filed by Ecosystem Solutions on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is proposing a restoration plan to remove unauthorized cart path created in or around 2017 from an order of conditions from 1997, DP file number SE-24-289. This is tabled from February 5th.
So at the February 5th meeting, we requested that they prepare some compilation plans so that everything was on one plan. We received an email from Michael Abbassia this morning saying that the consultant is still working on putting those together, and he requested that this matter be tabled.
Okay.
A motion to table.
Second,
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Review and discussion of, update on Bell Rock Road.
So as an update, I did speak with the applicant's attorney and the construction supervisor. Now that the weather has broken, they will be out there upgrading the erosion control plan and moving into the restoration as we had
Okay, good.
asked them to do. But now that the weather is cooperating,
Yeah, a little easier to work out there.
yeah. And we do have email correspondence from them today stating that they would be getting out there immediately.
Okay. Let's see, review and discussion of adopting fee structure. The state's still doing their new wetlands regulations, so I would just have someone make a motion to
Motion to table?
table.
Second.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Review and discussion of 1262 Brighton Ave. This was tabled from February 5th.
So as we discussed at the last meeting, I was able to do an on-site Friday, March 1st with the applicant's engineering consultant. I could offer that they've made great progress on the site with removing vehicles from where they shouldn't be. They've started the construction of some temporary stormwater management facilities. So they've gone a long way towards bringing the site into full compliance. And I had advised them that they did not need to attend today and that we would continue to monitor their progress. They are working towards completing the site plan review application. They went out and did additional survey work through Brayton Avenue for the water and sewer lines. And I'm told that information is coming in as well.
And that has the fuel storage in it too?
I believe it does, yeah, we'll
Okay.
see when that comes in.
Oh,
But I
see.
can say as far as,
Thanks.
you know, what we asked them to do with start moving vehicles, specifically, you know, parking of vehicles away from the resource areas, that's all been complied with. They have a very clearly marked out area of
Okay.
where
Yeah, I
vehicles can
looked.
park. It's very clean. All the erosion control has been updated. So no, I think they've done a great job.
Good, yeah. Did look 100% better, yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that they moved the trucks as well, so.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. So, nothing to vote on that one, right?
No, you just leave it on there, like you said, you wanted a monthly update, so I'll
Yeah.
keep checking.
Review. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Review and discussion of 263 Redwood Lane. This was tabled from January 5th.
I talked to the attorney Richard Levinson, who is the attorney for the property owner. They have hired an engineering consultant, as we discussed with them the last time. They are making an assessment of wetland resource areas, determining what can be permitted, what can't be permitted, and they'll be submitting a notice of intent either for work that they're requesting to stay or areas that need to be restored. So they are moving in the right direction. Do I anticipate them being ready for the April meeting? Probably not. You know, the engineering consultants are fairly busy now, but they do have one, and they have started the work. No other activity is taking place out there, so
So they haven't moved anything, just
nothing.
as is?
Everything was as they left it.
Okay. Board have any questions?
No.
All right. Next is a request of termination of accessibility of 185. Owner applicant Ronald Rusin. Project location 201 Napoleon Street. Assessors map is D-16-0047. Filed by the applicant. The applicant is requesting a request for determination of accessibility. A single-family house was constructed, and the majority of the vacant parcel was heavily disturbed with trash and debris. The applicant removed all the debris from the parcel during construction and cleaned the lot, which was logistically at the time of work. Portions of the clean area fell within the 100-foot buffer bordering vegetated wetland buffer zone. However, post-construction site conditions are substantially improved from a pre-existing condition.
So last month, all we were waiting for was a legal advertisement. The applicant was unaware of that. They did advertise for tonight's meeting. So
Okay.
I would recommend that you issue a determination of applicability with checking box number 3.
Okay, so can I have a motion to issue a negative determination on box 3?
Motion so made?
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving along, notice of intent SE-24-835, owner applicant is Donald Scott and Mary Lou Church. Project location 1040 Dickinson Street. Assessors map is D-090028. filed by Gorkowski Engineering on behalf of the applicant.
Gordetsky.
Gordetsky.
Whatever, don't call me late for something.
This was tabled from February 5th meeting.
Yep, you may remember at the last discussion, we had just received the revised plans. Alex and I have worked over the last month, come up with a revised set of plans, which we do have in-house. I have no issues with the issuing of an order of conditions with two special conditions. One, that the support stones that are to be used to hold up the wall, that no more than 50% of them will be 1-foot boulders, and that no less than 50% of them will be 2-foot boulders. So on Alex's detail, he had just shown the use of 1 and 2-foot boulders. I don't wanna go out there and find all 1-foot boulders. So there should be a mix of 1s and 2s so that things lock in place.
Right.
So that would be one condition. And then 2, that no work should begin until a new Chapter 91 license has been obtained and recorded at the Bristol County Registry of Deeds. That's all. Other than that, we have no other issues.
Could you explain what is a Chapter 91 license?
Chapter 91 is a waterways license for utilizing or using land of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So when you design a pier or a dock and it goes into, let's say, the Taunton River, for instance, the landowner does not own the land that the dock is being constructed on.
Correct.
So you have to apply to the state, and they give you a license, almost like an easement, that allows you to construct your pier, your dock, your stone revetment, something similar
In
to
this case, the
this.
stone wall.
Exactly. Yep, that's all. You can get a license to do anything. You could give me a license to sell ice cream on your
No,
land if you
I don't want
would like.
that, I just want to be sure, I
Yeah.
just want, when I check the wall, it needs to be fixed. and-
Correct.
And,
Yeah,
I want to be sure that, I just didn't know what a Chapter 1 license
Yep,
is.
that's
Thank
what
you,
it
I
is.
learn things all the time.
it goes through a different set of reviews. They can't go apply for that until you issue this order. So they'll send this information up to the state will then process it. They look at different things like abutters' rights or public rights along, a water's edge between high and mean low water. This isn't that type of resource area, but because it's a great pond,
Yeah, there
it
are
does
no-
need that licensing.
There are no tides either.
Correct, yeah. You wanna add anything else?
No, that's no, no, thank you.
So I have a question, I don't know, it's, so the wall is about 356 feet, is that correct?
Yes.
And then, at the base of the wall, you said on the plans here, it's gonna be 5 feet to 6 feet at the base, so it's going up at like a 45-degree angle?
This is my best guesstimate, it's
Yeah.
really,
It's variable, cause right now, underneath the concrete wall, the stone and concrete wall, there are already boulders like this, that wall sits on.
Okay.
So in some areas, those existing boulders may extend out the 5 feet. So this is basically just filling in a triangle.
So that's basically an estimate that you have here, might
Yes.
be,
Yeah.
it's my best guess.
and then, so that was one thing, and then the other thing is, and I don't know, I know the pond, it's a big pond, and I don't know how this is gonna affect anything, or if it even does, but what's the impact to the water level as we obviously throw more boulders into the pond, right?
Yep.
What is that?
You're a smart guy, but I did reach out to Paul Furland, and we asked him that at the time of the last hearing. And he had because he monitors that, that's a controlled elevation out there,
Okay.
and he monitors that constantly.
That's not gonna be
He
significant?
said this would be not significant enough for him to even worry about it,
What it
but
is.
we made sure that we got that information from him.
At LePage's restaurant, some thereabouts, there is a big culvert, and there are a set of boards that city puts to the slots to monitor the pond level.
Okay.
It cannot go above a certain level, it just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it
Okay, I
goes,
mean, cause I imagine it's like a glass of water, as you keep putting rocks into it, the
You
water
are
starts
correct.
rising, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that will
See.
affect everybody there.
As I understand it, the level of water, when it rains, for example, the level goes up, and it's governed by the water department, which lets more water out or keeps more water in.
Correct.
And so that the water level does not depend on the width of the bank. It depends upon it depends upon the amount of water maintained in the pond by the water department from its dike or whatever.
So we hope that the water
Yeah, I'm
department's
doing
not
this
slipping.
I've seen it, and I'm trying to think of the word for it, and I can't, but,
There are
yeah,
slots.
the gate,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
right.
they have
it's
these
gate.
sluice gates that they open and they monitor to keep the water
Yeah,
level
But,
stable.
The level can't be too bad because the Quequechan is really low.
Yeah,
I was there Friday, and the water level at the Quequechan is really low,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
they haven't had to release any water from South Watapa.
yeah. Any other questions?
Just one question, is the structure that's proposed there, 1 foot and 2 foot boulders, is that sufficient? I'm just asking, because I would
Yeah.
assume it is, but I
It
didn't know if
is-
there's
I
any.
mean, being at the slope, the 45-degree slope that they're being installed, yes, that would be more than adequate. The wall, I don't think the wall is in imminent danger of falling in today. I mean, it's fairly stable. So this is really to support that wall,
Mhm.
on top of the wall itself, so
Okay.
I don't imagine it would be an issue.
This is something then that, over the years, and, you know, whatever that is, I don't know if that's 10, 20 years, but this is something that will require some kind of monitor, I imagine, right? To make sure
Well-
that the slope at least is, the rocks are not falling, and it's just,
Well, exactly, so you want the rocks to be of a sufficient size. If this was coastal and was tidal,
You'd have a
then
bit-
these rocks would not be sufficient
right,
size.
you have
No,
to
they
go around.
wouldn't
But for what this use is, they're more than sufficient.
Just a support, basically, it's 45 degrees.
I can't hear you, sir.
Just to support the wall.
Yeah.
Because the wall is, I did septic system on this lot about 20 years ago, and this wall was there, I think 2022, something like that. This wall was there, I believe this wall, who knows how old it is. So in some areas, if you look at it, there is a picture in the pond. It's kind of beginning to
Yes.
tilt into the pond. So, well, I mean,
This would-
at some point it will fail.
This would be less of a disturbance than ripping up the existing wall and rebuilding the existing wall, because then now we're dealing with earth. This is just taking rocks, supporting them on the outside of the wall.
Although at some point, we might have to go there anyways, but that's for the future.
Don't worry about that.
I don't think I will be here again. I hope not.
Okay.
So you might wanna ask the, make sure there's nobody here in the audience.
Is there anyone? Okay. So can I have a motion to order conditions with special conditions with support stones shall be compressed of no more than 50% of 1 foot boulders and shall provide a maximum of 50% of 2 foot boulders. No work shall begin until a new Chapter 91 license has been obtained and recorded at the Bristol County Register of Deeds.
Make a motion to make that issuance, the order conditions and the 2 special conditions mentioned.
By the way, it was to provide a minimum of 50% of 2 foot boulders, you said a
Yeah.
maximum, but regardless, I second that motion.
Okay. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
All right,
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next is a notice of intent, SE-24-834. Owner applicant, Horano Lopes and Tiffany Borgine. Project location 20 Hayfield Lane and 0 Fieldstone Lane. Assessors map is U-1-0045 and U-04-0078, filed by, did we just not hear him?
Alex Gorodetsky.
Gordetsky, engineering on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is proposing to replicate and restore the altered wetlands.
We received correspondence from the applicant's attorney this afternoon requesting that the matter be tabled till next month's meeting. They're working out some items with Paul Furlan's office with regards to easement modification, and wetlands issues are kind of resolved, but makes no sense to go through with it if Paul's office isn't okay with it, so. They didn't wanna come in and make a representation that was not true.
So that pool was built on the easement.
It was built in the wetlands and in an easement, but we're not supposed to discuss it yet, so.
Yeah, okay.
We'll discuss it when they're here.
All right, so can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is a notice of intent SE-24-836. Owner applicant Diane Smith, project location 4 Captain Circle, assessors map is Y-06-0037, filed by Pro Engineering, Inc. On behalf of the applicant is proposing to raise an existing 2-bedroom, single-family dwelling and construct a new 2-bedroom, single-family dwelling, complete with driveway, utilities, septic system, and landscaping table from February.
So I'll give you just a quick little update. The last meeting, we had given the applicant a list of a few conditions or items that we wanted to see on the revised plans. I can offer that they have provided that revised plan with all of those required items. The only special condition I would recommend that the board requires that the Board of Health review and approve or disapprove the building plans regarding bedroom count. Not really your jurisdiction, but prior to the start of construction, we want to make sure that that gets taken care of.
Okay.
Okay, yep, and I don't think we had a file number at the last meeting, but we do
Okay.
have one now.
Yep. So, we're good to issue it with just that one condition.
All right. Board have any questions?
Yeah, the reason for the bedroom has to do with the,
Septic system.
The septic system.
Yeah.
Correct.
Actually, the septic system has to do with the preservation of the water quality. I don't know why we would relinquish our authority to the Board of Health to
'Cause you have
figure
no
out how
authority.
many bedrooms there are. It seems like that's something that we ought to be able to figure out.
No, so you have no authority with regards to increase in flow in Title V. The septic system for this property was approved already under a previous order of conditions when it was just dealing with the small house or trailer that was there. This is for the construction of the house. Septic
Right.
system and its proximity to the wetlands is locked in and approved as 2 bedrooms.
Right,
So you have, your jurisdiction is to the wetland. They're not asking to make the septic system any bigger. So the Board of Health reviews the building plans to say, okay, they're putting back a 2-bedroom house, not a 3-bedroom house.
well, but I looked at the plan, for once I spent a while on the plans.
Which plan?
It does look like if there's a 3rd room.
That's why we're asking the Board of Health. That's the Board of Health's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We just wanna make sure they're aware of it.
Yeah, they do the measurements of height and feet and all that to determine.
So the applicant will work with the Board of Health to make sure that when this building permit gets signed off, that they're not
Okay.
increasing the
All right.
flow in
I
accordance to Title V.
Looked like 3 to me, that's why I was.
The bedroom in question is an office.
Could you speak loudly enough to get in the
I
mic?
said, the bedroom in question is an office. Now, it has to meet criteria to be a bedroom, like a closet, other egress, second egress out of the room. And we can always take the wall down and not have any walls.
Right.
And a half wall, and then it would be just a sitting area. If we just made it a full wall because we wanted to throw junk in and we want to see it. Believe me, I don't want 3 bedrooms, so my kids will come back.
No. That's not for this board. You need to
I
give that
know.
argument to the Board of Health.
I want to make it 2 bedroom.
Okay.
But we have no basement because of the water table, so
Yeah.
we need storage.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all
All
it's
right.
gonna be, so we just called it an office,
We'll call it storage,
yeah.
get rid of the door.
Give it a door and
make
if I
it-
don't put an
so
egress
there's-
window,
Bob knows ways of dealing with the Board of Health.
yeah,
I don't even wanna talk about it here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
All
not-
righty,
it's
so
not the
Let you
board's
guys
jurisdiction.
can I have a motion to grant the order of conditions with the okay of the Board of Health to review and approve or disapprove the building plans regarding the bedroom count? Plans appear illustrated 3 qualifying bedrooms. The property has 2-bedroom deed restriction.
Motion,
So, second.
Roll call?
aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Keep your kids out of the house.
Come again. And take care of that turkey, that chicken out there, that rooster.
That's right. Peacock or rooster or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
No, it was a rooster.
It's a hybrid.
I know a rooster when I see it.
Yeah.
All right, next is a request for certificate of compliance, SE-24-158, owner applicant is the City of Fall River Fire Department. Project locations, Commerce Drive, FKA Airport Road. Assessors map is Z-05-0030, now Z-05-0002. Filed by Fall River Redevelopment Authority on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is requesting a partial certification, the partial release of Assessors Map Z-05-0011, 191 Commerce Drive, and Assessors Map Z-05-0014, 231 Commerce Drive, that were both subdivided from a large original parcel covered by the order of conditions, and that no construction activity was permitted for or performed on these subdivided parcels.
So what this is, when they constructed the new police station up on Airport Road, that was, sorry, fire station, that was one singular piece of land that encompassed the entire airport. So that original order of conditions encumbers all of that land still. So now they went through, they subdivided, they created Commerce Drive and the 10 lots that are on it. For title purposes, when a title attorney goes and looks at the deed now for this parcel that the Fall River Redevelopment Authority owns and wants to convey, it's still encumbered by that old order of conditions, because the fire department never closed it out.
Yeah.
And they're still not closing it out. They're not asking for that. All we're doing is taking these 2 postage stamps that are nowhere near what was constructed, and for title purposes, they're removed from the land encumbered by the order of conditions. This happens fairly often when you have a good title attorney that finds these things prior to closing. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but it did happen here for 2 separate parcels.
Okay.
So that's all. So all you're doing is basically taking those 2 postage stamps out of what was the original parcel.
Okay. So can I have a motion for partial release of the 2 parcels requested?
Motion so made.
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Alrighty. Next, review and discussion and cease desist of Bart Street and Bronson Street.
So if you recall, we had sent out an enforcement letter to the property owner at that location, asking them to appear before you this evening. As you see, they apparently did not come, or did not remember, or haven't hired the consultant that they were supposed to. So I will reach out to them, send them another letter, tell them to come at next meeting as well.
Yeah, because I don't know if you made it out to look at this location. He just started knocking down trees, laying out a driveway, and it's in wetlands.
Yep.
It's not,
It's probably
it's
got
not
3 or 4
flagged.
feet of fill over about 100 by 100 area, straight into a wetland.
Yes.
In a wetland that was, when they built the houses across the street, there was a notice of intent filed for the construction of the street and those houses. It showed the approved wetlands line right at the edge of the opposite pavement. So all of that land north of it was a wetland. This gentleman went in and bought those parcels and was probably trying to make them buildable, I'm guessing, by altering the wetlands, so.
No, he's got to come
We'll
back
stay on
before
top.
us before he goes to, does that have to be zoned, or that's already zoned for
Or
housing?
he's not going anywhere. It's zoned for houses. He's gonna come back here with a petition to restore the wetland,
Yeah,
period.
there's no. you
There's
can't-
no room for development.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't build on that.
And they would need to come back, he could come back and ask you
Yeah,
permission to fill a wetland to build houses. I don't think, the board could act on that and say, no, we don't want you to fill a wetland,
yeah,
to build houses, so. But right now, it's to file a notice of intent to restore
right,
the alteration that took place,
okay, yeah.
that's all.
All
So I'll
right.
reach back out to him again.
Okay,
I did speak to him, like I told you before, the last meeting, like the day of. So he did respond, he did receive the letter, he did respond, and I made it clear that he should have been here tonight, but.
yeah, I just find it hard to believe that somebody would then they'd come in front of us complaining that their basement's flooding, their backyard's always flooded, and it's like you build a house in the wetlands,
Yeah,
you know? it's-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I have a motion for approval of the minutes from February 5th meeting?
Motion to approve minutes?
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
All right, sorry.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Seeing no citizen input, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion so made?
Seconded.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
All right.
All right.
Efficient work.